definitely a lot of challenges for a first-time filmmaker because I've had babies, special effects, a dog coming up, tons of dialogue, long scenes at one location, and like 4 characters in one place. Like I'm literally like taking on something that's like really not like you have to be a little bit smarter than me to really wrap your head around that kind of shit. It's my first day directing ever. This is my first day directing ever.
Action!
What time are we wrapping?
Never.
Ruben and Enrique arrived yet? No, it's early. Don't jinx me.
Me and a friend were thinking of starting a horror production company, and our buddy Trent Haga, the writer of Dead Girl, sent me the script.
I mean, I wrote the script in probably 2008. It's 2012 now, so 4 years ago I wrote the screenplay. Now, for me, in my mind, my politically, socio-economically, the way I come from, like, the rich people are the really ones that are evil. So I said, you know, House of the Edge of the Park is a great movie, but if we could flip it and have it be 2 rich people go into the place where everyone's destitute, and then they're using their money to, you know, get their sick jollies or their cheap thrills, if you will.
And the thing that I was totally stoked on was like people being pinned in one place by these rich people that are basically throwing money at them like human cockfight. So we got the script. It was probably like 2 years ago. And then it went through various, incarnations, and, we had a couple friends take a crack at rewriting it.
They needed somebody to do a rewrite on the script, and they needed someone to do it for super cheap.
So we just worked over the past couple of years getting the script where we thought we needed it to be, and then everything else happened pretty quickly.
When we were first talking about the project, I was hoping that it would be, we would cast some comedians, actually.
David was a really interesting choice because it felt like you'd look at him and you'd see somebody that represents like a fun party. Like there's no obvious malevolence. He's a charming guy. He's be goofy, and he's going to take the audience by the hand and take them to this movie, which maybe they don't know is coming.
The script did pull me in. You go along and make the decision with the players the entire movie. That's what got me. I was like, okay, at no point did I call bullshit.
I'm hoping that it's really going to be a choice that pays off, that people are not expecting, because he comes from such a comedy background, and then to play like a sociopathic criminal murderer, so to speak, sort of. I don't think people are going to expect.
Ethan strolled in the office. He was one of the names that I looked at. I really liked him in a Showtime series, Brotherhood, and I just thought that he looked like a Vince. He looked like Vince. He was Vince.
I first read the script, and it's definitely new. I've never seen anything like it.
On a political / metaphorical level, I thought it was like the perfect sort of metaphor for what's going on right now, where people are sort of literally jumping over each other, eating each other to just make some money just for themselves.
That's another reason why I wanted to do the movie, was because it was something that really made me think, how far would you go for money? What would you do for money?
Sara, Paxton, and I worked together before on The Innkeepers, Ty West movie.
We hit it off just instantaneously, and people asked me during the filming of that movie, they were like, how long did you know Pat beforehand? Because you have such great chemistry, like, it feels like you've been friends for a long time. And I was like, no, we just met the day before, we just happened to have the same kind of sense of humor.
And it was kind of interesting too, and I didn't even think about this baggage in a good way, where people that saw their relationship in The Innkeepers are now seeing a completely different one here. So that was something cool that was kind of unexpected that I didn't even think about,
So this is day 2 on Cheap Thrills,
and we are shooting a scene that's one of the first scenes in the movie, or the first couple scenes in the movie, where I am leaving my apartment in the morning, my wife and my young son, my infant son, and it's about 120 degrees inside the apartment.
And we're in a tiny apartment in like a Melrose Place kind of setup, and there's, you can't have the AC and the air conditioning on or the fans on when you're shooting.
They're up there, just like 15 people in a tiny little studio sweating, but it'll be worth it because on camera it'll really have that feeling of claustrophobia.
But yeah, it's like a sauna. Yeah. Somebody said it was Africa hot. I don't disagree.
It just smells like ripe men. And just like, and Cheez-Its for some reason. I think there's like Cheez-Its on as set dressing. So it's like the smell of just old Cheez-Its just filling it. It's so awesome.
We're gonna reveal this is me not having really done any physical activity except open and close the door for a few hours. And this is the second shirt today. This is only the second shirt. This is the second shirt I've worn that I've completely soaked through by doing nothing but holding a baby and kissing my wife goodbye. We haven't even gotten to any of the fights or anything yet, so that's what we have to look forward to.
The special effects guy we got is unbelievable. I don't know if you got a chance to see Pat yesterday, but Hugo, man, that guy's talented. It's gonna be pretty sick. Some dark shit, man.
Pee on you.
It's fucking amazing.
It's crazy, right?
It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. Well, it's crazy when you have a scene that looks exactly how you imagined it, and that as a screenwriter, that's pretty rarely happened in my life.
To see his excitement of like seeing these frames that he's created and these performances that he's put together based on what he's written, sort of watch it happen, see the excitement of the young kid.
I really love working on this movie, which is crazy because I know it's going to be hard, but I enjoy it.
We'll see, in a couple of weeks when he's the battered old man and when we're all done and be ready to be finished, which just happens with everybody, But for right now, he's got that joy of seeing everything, doing everything for the first time, which is cool.
So today's a big day. We have approximately 20 setups somewhere in there inside the house. 90% of that's our dressing, but still, we need to respect the house. We're going to be here for 9 days. I don't want to break stuff.
Can you talk about how you guys found the house? Or how?
Yeah, the house. That's one thing we're talking about because Evan and I started actually, talking a lot about in pre-production.
I wanted a character because, the first read of the script, it was a little bit more of like a bland kind of, I guess, Hollywood Hills Coke pad.
We did discuss a lot of that, and one, of course, being the main location because it's such a. I mean, that's it. That's basically all there is in the movie.
So it needs to have some personality inherent in it because we don't have a lot of money to afford production design.
A friend of mine, E.L, who's this great, just really a character, but this fantastic guy. He's artist and carpenter, and he's built this insane house that they ended up shooting in by himself out of salvaged material.
And Mess introduced me to these guys, and he sent me these pictures of this house where there's wood everywhere, there's all these weird paintings and stairs that go nowhere, and I'm like, this is great. It's like it's really warm and inviting, but if you look very closely at it, it kind of stops making sense.
So I hooked Travis up with Al, and it worked out. Also, I knew that he does porn there as well, so I knew that he was that he be happy to rent it out to something else. We were moving into Colin and Violet's house for the very first time. So right now Sebastian and Evan are going over our approach. This is the first time we've seen the house with the production design and stuff in here. So there'll be a little bit of tweaks, and we're engaging the next stage of the movie, which is shit's about to get real.
Today, we're starting off in the bathroom when Vince and Craig decide to rob Colin and Violet.
Prop knives. So this is the safety for the wide, and this is the real one, but it's dulled, so no real danger. But
Hey, David, you touched the knife. You played with the knife?
Yes.
Make sure you feel safe with the one against your neck.
Well, the one against his neck will most probably be the rubber one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're guessing.
Oh, hey! I'm gonna need all the money in that safe.
Like you go wham, Paul grab his hand, because both hands. Okay. As soon as he does that, you slam him against. You can take him as much power as you want, but let him reach for his hand.
So your
hand.
You're stopping my hand.
Yeah. And that way you have control of the length and the speed of the push.
George P. Wilbur has he started I think working with John Wayne like back in the day.
He's been in like a million fucking awesome movies. He's done stunts for fucking everything.
Guy worked with fucking Howard Hawks and Sam Peckinpah and Clint Eastwood and Mel Brooks.
Like he was the hand that punched through the wall and grabbed Harrison Ford's throat in Blade Runner.
Silence of the Lambs. That's a good one. Total Recall. Holy cow.
He was in the Halloween movies, 4 and 5. Played Michael Myers.
Blazing Saddles. Cleopatra, High Plains Drifter, Poseidon Adventure, Blackula.
Perfect Storm. He was on when the ship, sort of went under. He was one of the guys sliding down.
Conquest of the Planet of the Apes and Planet of the Apes. He was Peter Graves' stunt double on Mission Impossible on the show. Embry, another great Martin Rent movie. And El Dorado, Howard Hawks classic, John Wayne and Robert Mitchum. That's pretty intense.
He's a legend. He's also Travis's father-in-law.
I fell in love with his daughter and married her, and was blessed enough to get his experience on these shows. So it's good.
You see this, TJ? This is what happens when half a movie goes okay.
You get rewarded with tomato juice, and Bud Light.
And a little bit of Bud Light.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Good work.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Good work, everybody.
How would you compare? How would you say it's different from your first day to now?
I don't know. Now I guess a part of me now is just like, all right, let's just fucking see where these things go. There's a bit of chaos, but the movie's kind of chaotic, so it's okay. And like I love the chaos. Like I love how Embry decides like I'm gonna fucking jam on a guitar in the scene. It makes me so fucking happy.
What scene are you looking forward to the most?
Eating the dog. getting peppered shepherd in my beard. Poodles with noodles.
Not a Persian dude.
Oh yeah, I mean we know we need
We need to have you picking them up in the shot. It's just you clocking, seeing the dog.
Is the owner
That's a
on
separate
set?
thing when he's.
What does my life come to? I get paid to take shits in people's houses and kill their dogs.
I think you actually just watch the camera.
What we're about to do is a sequence in the film where there's a competition where Ethan and I have to each eat half of a dog that just died and David has cooked. And the person who finishes first gets $50,000.
We have 3 rotisserie chickens that are dressed like the dogs.
He's got a paw that he made that fits over the end, so it'll look like a dog's paw.
So you hold it up and it looks like a dog's leg, and they eat the chicken part, and the dog part will be there in their hand. It's gonna be fucking disgusting.
Oh, there's ants on it.
Baby ribs.
Here's the dog.
We're just gonna have you guys eat a certain amount.
Yes.
And we'll be checking in with you, so it's not like you're trained monkeys eating a bunch of food.
No, I know.
We don't want you guys to eat the whole thing. That would be really fucked.
But wasn't that the way you guys set it up?
The smell of chicken.
People are just gonna be like, are you fucking kidding me? Kidding me? They're eating that cute little dog, and it's like for $50,000. And hopefully the audience is asking themselves, would I do it?
Action. $50,000 to whoever finishes their portion first.
Here's the thing. We both have our advantages, right? Ethan has 2 hands to eat with. And Vince that has 2 hands to eat with as well. So character and person-wise, Ethan Embry. Advantage Pat Healy, I can't smell anything, so I can't taste how fucking shitty that is. And he's more disgusted by it to begin with.
Good. It's gonna make you throw up. Go out.
Yeah, I
You don't have to
can.
be there.
No, hang out, Sarah.
She doesn't have to be there. You don't have to be there, Sarah.
Go.
Sarah. Sarah.
Sara. The camera wasn't on me, but my mouth was like open and I was like feeling like I was going to cry. Just watching it, I was like getting really emotional and worked up.
Yeah, it's funny though because at some point you kind of forget that this is the thing that you signed up for in some ways, and you're like, really? Oh wow, this is a fucked up script.
Let's do this shit.
See that?
Action!
Done.
I'm so nauseous. I'm about to puke here. Fucking vomit, right? The crew's about to throw up. I love this movie.
It was great. I love sounds of throw up.
Do you want to wipe your beard?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom and fucking chuck it.
We are turning around on Craig then.
I knew a couple of the pitfalls, which is to have, garbage close by and to have water close by. I had a healthy sense of competition. I did want to beat him, but I think I'm at an advantage because I'm not disgusted by those things like he is. But there was a point where I literally, A, I couldn't breathe. B, I had swallowed a piece of bone that was stuck in my throat. I then vomited a bunch of it up, that I took the piece that I had vomited up and shoved it back down my throat.
The glamour of Hollywood.
I could watch all the crew's faces. They're all about to throw up themselves, so it's good. Good indicator of audiences to come. Blah. Blah.
Look at this. Who's this guy?
Get in the
You
car.
want a ride? Come on.
Get in the fucking car. I mean, that doesn't apply to the stars of our film, dude.
You gotta, let me see your dicks, because I gotta make sure you guys are not cops. You a cop, buddy? You a cop?
Does that work?
All right, no cops. So, $50 each.
How did this guy get in this movie?
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm hot, man. I gotta get air conditioning in that car. And maybe not wear a fucking flannel shirt when it's 900 degrees out.
You just have to keep an eye on the atmosphere.
That's key.
Be patient and
small films, shooting days like this in 100-degree heat. It's not the best.
And don't get angry.
Don't get angry. Or if you get angry, do it quietly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Quiet anger.
Yeah.
It's 99 degrees right now, and it's 12:30, which means probably by 4 o'clock we're looking at 110. No air conditioning in the house, and all of our windows are blacked out for day for night, which means no air circulation either. So it should be fun.
What's happening here?
You got no power.
It's like God got mad.
Well, we live in California. It was 140 degrees today, and we had a rolling blackout, I think.
And it's what, fall?
Yeah, September. So it was a hot week, and too many people running their ACs in the neighborhood. Killed a transformer, I think.
Could be anywhere from 20 minutes to 6 hours. You never know.
How long would you say it's been out?
4 hours now.
We're using city power as opposed to a generator on the shoot, so we're going to look at an alternative of for this scene, lighting from the generators on the trailers.
No, just those.
It's alive! Let there be light.
But Grip and Electric saved us by being brilliant.
It was a nice break, actually, when it happened. He was like, all right, well, can't get too mad about it. You know, it's not the kind of thing you can get mad about. You have no control over it. So embrace the downtime.
Just save the day like that.
Just like that, we can shoot a scene.
We better get you some popsicles. You guys ordered some popsicles.
Embry, there's no way we can get power. Hell no.
I mean, listen, they created light out of nothing. Let's let them bask in their triumph here.
Absolutely. Well, although we have to give production props because they've lost their AC for the day.
So we couldn't use the air conditioner on the hottest day. Sebastian cut the power on the hottest day of the year. We all know that. He cut the power because he wanted to light it differently.
Ridiculous. How you doing, Pat?
Hot.
I'm so sweaty, I'm going to slip out of this chair. And I'm too tired to actually do it.
And we've been in an unprecedented heat wave in Los Angeles for a couple of months, really, starting at the beginning of August through as we're shooting here in September. You know, especially at the beginning of the shoot where it was 100, 110 outside. It was 120 in there. It felt like a pizza oven.
The movie definitely is starting to take that dark turn now. You know what I'm saying? I'm shooting all fucking day. You see, you know, a lot of movie sets, it's like a lot of waiting around. I'm not waiting around at all. I have to constantly be thinking. The thing is, it's tough because there's not tons of time to get this shit right, and it feels like we don't have a lot of time to get the shots that we need. And then when you're putting stuff on top of that,
and you know, the film is a big chaotic, you know, building mess, and 100 pages of script in 14 days is a lot. I mean, on a studio thing, you're shooting 2 or 3 pages a day, you know. We're shooting 10. We shot 14 one day. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, there's just so little time for everything. Prep, all that stuff. Blocking, it's all on the fly.
Shooting in sequence in a short amount of time, especially a suspenseful film, there's a palpable tension in the air.
Because it doesn't take too much for a film to fall apart.
You're constantly, your adrenaline is up, so everybody kind of naturally just becomes manic.
Life imitates art and vice versa.
Single locations do get a little claustrophobic.
You know, the guerrilla sort of style of filmmaking really allows for you to just really live it. You really have to feel those feelings and sort of be in that space. And you are in that space, or in that house, and we are doing crazy things.
Going to Grace. All right, guys, we got very little time to finish this, so please.
But it's definitely weird to be now directing something. I'll tell you that, man. It's definitely a weird, you know, it's not glamorous.
It's a lot more pressure than you think, isn't it?
Tons of fucking pressure. All I know is that I'm fucking exhausted. You slow the fuck down.
You know, a chaotic environment is not necessarily the worst thing for a chaotic movie.
This is a rowdy fucking movie, like a legitimately rowdy movie.
It appears to be sort of actually happening because it kind of is.
The pot was ready to boil over in those last few days.
What do you say, Sebastian? Are you guys catching up?
On today's schedule?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Not even remotely. No, we won't make it.
So once you're in that situation, you're running out of time, and you have a whole crew around, and you've got all these voices. the communication can really break down, and everybody starts getting stressed out. Poor fucking Evan's just sitting there, like, just trying to shoot.
I just didn't feel barely plugged in at all today. Like yesterday, like I felt like it was very like as manic as I felt. Like I felt very. This just feels like I'm constantly trying to catch up. Today was like the first day I felt like quality control.
Like maintaining the quality control gets very difficult at times when you have to go just to get the dialogue to complete a scene, you know?
Yeah, it's really been kind of a roller coaster of a day.
I don't know what happened. Some technical screw up.
It was the scene where it's just right after his fingers chopped off, and we kind of had a practical effect happen of like this nub for his finger, and then I think Koechner puts a hot iron on the nub. The iron, like we had to have fake smoke poof up, and it was like perfect. After we had found out the footage was missing or deleted or whatever happened, I have no idea what happened, but he was really bummed.
I know it's fucked, but we have it. It's really fucked. It's good we shot on 2 cameras.
That's so upsetting.
I know.
I wrote a fucking essay about it. That's how important it was to me.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was such a powerful emotional experience that I felt compelled to write this blog about it, which got reblogged a lot. A lot of people read it, really related to it. And that scene that I wrote about got erased. Out of all the scenes in the movie, the entire crew like applauded after it. It was such a big deal, and it got erased.
From talking to Pat, was that was like a very huge moment in his career as an actor.
He felt like it was something that he really had to go to a really uncomfortable place to give that performance.
So we're gonna clean myself up, and as many people as want to stay are gonna stay to shoot at least just my coverage of that scene. I'm gonna try and get there again. I think I can do it. I believe in myself now.
Action! Fuck that.
Oh, fuck! Come on, motherfucker! Fuck yeah, motherfucker! Good shit! Fuck yeah! Oh! 15,000, 5, 10, 15, motherfucker.
Cut. Let's go again. Sound cut.
It's very rare. I feel like you get one of those per movie where you just you feel what's happening, you know? You believe what's happening.
Sick. Yeah. Wow. I'm okay with doing another one. If you want to do another one from the front.
Actually, the last day seemed pretty grim. Do you remember that?
That was the strip club, though.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, at that point, people had thrown in the towel, and we're just kind of over it.
You know, I gave up. I was done, and like I didn't have anything more to give.
I got halfway through actually.
My body hurts. My mind feels soft.
Everyone had had enough. It was a very deflated kind of feeling. Get the bare minimum, and we're done. That's kind of what it felt like at that point.
When you go out to make a movie, you really have to choose that this is the project that you want to do, because you're going to be breaking your ass and losing your mind over it.
I'm glad that I did it, but I was glad when it was over.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Okay, that was it. All right, stand by. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap on Pat.
you know, we all kind of put ourselves through some really uncomfortable places and didn't feel good and felt angry and crazy, and it's intense and stressful and embarrassing and frustrating and scary. But, you know, I'm happy that I put myself through it because, like, I needed it. And I feel like I've learned a lot about myself.
I think Evan is an amazing first-time director. He's very skilled. He has a great sense of imagination. He has a very clear idea of how the scenes are going to play out before we do them. He's able to explain to me in very clear terms what he feels the scene should be about, that doesn't come very often. He knows about visual style. He knows about tone, characters, stuff like that. But he also knows about my line of work and other crafts. So he can kind of extend onto these areas and explain what he wants.
He's really been great and really supportive about, you know, what he wants to do, and he was always very clear with me about his vision for the film and what kind of film he wanted it to be. And
like you said, he's made this movie in his head for a long time, and he's executing it.
And he's just a fun guy to be around. Like, he's so quirky and cool, and he's adorable. So that's so nice.
I'm lucky that all these like awesome motherfucking actors showed up.
Wait, what? Yeah, that's right.
I don't necessarily have like a lot to say in every scene. I got to spend a lot of time like watching Pat and David and Ethan work, and it was amazing to actually be there and observe them. And it was so great. They're so good. I mean, like all three of them together in the scene. It's great. They're really amazing, and also such nice people.
She's very nice and really talented. She listens, and she jokes around, and she's calm. Good presence on set. We're lucky. Totally fucking lucky.
I hope that audiences find Cheap Thrills funny and exciting and thrilling and suspenseful.
I think some people are going to find it really depressing, and then there's going to be a certain amount of people that think it's hilarious. And then some people are going to kind of feel both at the same time, and I think that's my preferred choice.
It's always hard to gauge how things will play, but my feeling is at least that it is really powerful and funny. It's like it's a really good shitty time.
You know, I guess I hope that people can laugh and be disgusted and feel for the characters and, you know, kind of all the things that the movie I think was designed to do.
It's funny because like you kind of hope that some of the just, you know, the themes will kind of just fall into place, and you don't have to think about them too much, you know, when you're making it, because you don't want to preach at people.
Yeah, there's definitely some kind of, you know, socio-political undertones to this movie for sure.
Like a descent into the terrible potential that human beings have, and the kind of soft curve it always takes.
And what evil must you do? What agreement must you make with evil to get money? Right? How corruptible are you?
That's what I hope, that people have a good time, but they ultimately kind of come out with, you know, something sort of weighty, you know, to think about and chew over a little bit.
When you do a movie, you don't know how it's going to be received. All you know is how you responded when you first read it, and you hope that you're able to trigger some sort of emotional reaction from your audience.
But I'm still always like, I'm still cynical about everything, so I'm still like waiting for something horrible to happen. I'm still waiting for like a piano to fall on my head or something.
But who's here just to see an amazing movie called Cheap Thrills?
You still got those pills I gave you?
Yeah, I want them. Somewhere.
Give it to me. I'll crush it up. You can rail it. You won't feel a fucking thing.
It's in here somewhere.
There it is. It's done.
Oh shit.
The movie, you know, started going over really well, and I don't know, like I describe it as like this weird, cathartic, almost bizarre out-of-body experience, because it was like a physical thing, and once I started to hear that people were really into it, it just like, it was like a year of work kind of rising out of my fucking body.
I'd never seen the film with an audience before. I didn't know there were that many laughs in the picture. That's what struck me the most. The laughter. I just assume like there's such a pent-up, it's such a pressure cooker that you have no choice. At any point that there seems like I can get out of here and laugh, they do.
What are you waiting for? Fucking attached! Oh, fucking kidding me? Get the knife. Fuck that.
It's a fun movie to watch with a crowd. They lose their minds. It's fun. It's one of those movies.
What did you think of the movie? That was unexpected. I'd never heard of it before. I'd never heard anything about it, and I will be recommending it. That's intense. That's an intense movie.
Excellent. Unbelievable.
It's fucking genius. The movie was extremely intense, some very shocking moments, and I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was great.
And I thought it was so scary and good. I was screaming during most, not screaming, but I was like covering my everything.
You have to see this with an audience. It's incredibly funny, and for all of the more fucked up things that happen in the film, the reactions from the audience are sort of what makes the experience. So it's pretty electric.
People laugh, people cringe, people get shocked.
It goes over well, and that's been a really nice surprise. I didn't know it was going to be that way sometimes during the shoot. So.
First-time director has 12 days and no money.
And ultimately, it probably contributed to the manic energy on set and on screen. So ultimately, I wouldn't change a thing. It would have been easier on me, but I don't know if the movie would have been better.
Making movies on a shoestring budget is not an easy thing to pull off.
And it's so wonderful to see a first-time director make something that is this special and that is this beloved so quickly.
I mean, I love this movie, I'm actually proud of this one. Nobody did this movie to make rent. They did this movie because they liked the material and because they wanted to. And I don't know, it's a nice little rare gem.
Give these guys one last sort of final bow, round of applause.
This is like my last moments before suddenly I'm getting a million questions and we have a ticking clock. And I don't...
What are you trying to say?
Fuck off. That's how I feel. You're filming me doing this? See, that's the thing. He's been behind me all this fucking time.
He should be. That's how you're gonna get the goods, dude.
No, TJ doesn't do anything but film me in weird, stressful situations.
And his documentary is going to be the same thing. It's going to be incredibly uncomfortable. You're filming this right now?
No.
Okay, nothing.
He just lied to you. He just fucking straight up lied.
Now he is lying to me now. He's learned that's the only way to do it. Then why are you pointing it at me?
Fucking TJ's distracted with an interview.
No boundaries, nothing.
Yeah.
No boundaries.
Nothing.
We're gonna get on there.
TJ's up on my grill. Just trying to chill. Turn that shit off, please. So I can relax.
So the best memento is this, right here. Several permanent and still bloody axe marks where I believe a finger came off. Is that right? But you could tell. I've had this table fucking 20 years and I've never put one mark in it, so they were hitting pretty hard here.